Before I started this journey, I didn't understand what happiness was. I felt so bored and emotionless about life, but I didn't really understand how to make myself happier. I would just take each day as it comes, just sitting in my room, wasting time doing pretty much nothing, just doing these degenerate habits, the movies, gaming, TV shows, porn, all of that bullshit is what I would sit in my room doing all day, every single day, just letting time pass. And I knew that there was more to life. I knew there was more to be done, but I didn't quite know how to get there, and I didn't know how I could make myself happier in those moments. And then when I was on social media, all I was seeing was these influencers like Iman Gadji and all these influencers in Dubai with their Lamborghinis and their watches. Sorry. All of these influencers basically just stunting their lifestyle on social media. And I would sit there looking at them all day and be like how are they doing this? How are they making so much money? Like they look so happy with their online businesses and their Dubai lifestyle. And so I sat and thought to myself, and I thought that if I just made more money, I could be happy. I thought money could make me happy, so I bought one of these courses from these online gurus, right? And I started the business they told me to start. I worked on that business for about a year. There were periods where I wouldn't work on it, periods where I would. But over the course of a year, I worked on this online business. But for some reason, I still felt so bored with this work. I would wake up and dread working on that business. In case you guys don't know what that business was, I would basically cold call local business owners and pitch them an advertising service over the phone. And I would do that like hundreds of times a day. And it was just fucking brutal, like the responses I was getting, but enough of that. That's what I was doing, right? And I did make progress. I did get better at doing that. And I didn't make a whole lot of money, but I knew the potential was there. Like I had seen people with doing this business model making tens of thousands a month, so I knew that if I really wanted to, I could get to that level, right? But one day I just sat and reflected to myself, like, is this really what life's all about? If you're unhappy in life, the way you make yourself happy is by chasing money, and you have to do something that you don't even want to do. You have to do work that you don't even want to do. Like when I really reflected about it, this business felt so purposeless. Like what was I actually doing? I was just clicking a few buttons and calling a few people and telling them I could make them money by running an advertising service. It felt so purposeless. And I honestly didn't even like doing it. I hated it. I hated cold calling. But apparently that was the way I would make money and live the life I wanted. That's what I was led to believe. Until I reflected in that moment that it wasn't actually what I wanted. This was not what I wanted to do, and I knew that even if I was successful with this business, it wouldn't have made me happy because I'd be doing something I don't want to do, something purposeless. And so a month or so later, I actually read this book about happiness. And in this book, they defined happiness in 3 words: purpose, enjoyment, and satisfaction. The author of this book is called Arthur C. Brooks. It's called Build the Life You Want, just in case you guys want to read it, by the way. It's an amazing book. But Arthur C. Brooks defined happiness as those three words. And when I finally understood what that meant, when I finally implemented those three things into my life, that was the only time where I started becoming happy and living a happier life, building the life I want. And I achieved that through my self-improvement journey. During my self-improvement journey, I managed to figure out my purpose. And that gave me satisfaction. And whilst being on that journey, I just kept progressing every single day, making myself a better man, making myself a better human being. Just continual self-improvement every single day, just 1% better every single day. My purpose of trying to become the best version of myself. Doing that every single day and watching myself transform gave me satisfaction. And having fun whilst being on that journey gave me the enjoyment. Attracting things like the law of attraction, when I started this journey, I started just attracting people who would also be on this journey, building friends, helping other friends get on the same path. Helping other friends get on the same path. Watching people around me tell me how much I've changed, but in a good way, in a great way. Seeing all those things happen, combined with having the purpose, the enjoyment, and the satisfaction, gave me happiness, and it greatly improved my life. I became so much happier once I started this journey. Figuring out your purpose and working on it, setting yourself goals and monitoring the progress, that is what makes you happy. Finally fulfilled with something to strive towards, finally having a mission in life, a goal to achieve, and then working relentlessly on that goal every single day, making yourself a more disciplined man every single day, getting used to the uncomfortable habits that you know will make you a better person, a better human being. Take the needle closer. Just watching yourself do that day after day, becoming more disciplined. That is what makes you happy as a man. There's something about this disciplined self-improvement journey that makes you realize you were missing out on a big part of life. You start to realize your potential, the things you can actually achieve, the things you can do. Once you're on this journey for a few weeks or months, you look at your old self and realize that you were missing out and you could have done so much more. But then you realize you're blessed with the opportunity to do better and help others to do better. And that is where the joy and the satisfaction comes from, the purpose, the mission. And once you have those three things, like the author defined in that book, you will be happier. Discipline is happiness. Self-improvement is happiness. Going through the hard, treacherous journey of improving yourself every single day, working relentlessly on your goals, and watching yourself make progress. That is what gives you happiness. And that is what each and every single one of you needs to do. I can imagine you are all just like me, sitting in your rooms doing absolutely nothing with your life, wasting time, doing degenerate habits. Knowing that there's more to life, knowing that you want to do better, knowing that you want to become great and do something that is incredible, achieving something big. Well, the good news is you can start right now. You can start this journey with me, learn from me, and start this path, this disciplined path to become the best versions of yourselves. Start today and change your life. Stay disciplined.